Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm Allison. This is the Mighty Bujo, and today we're setting up December's pages. So I have quite a bit for you today. In fact, there are 9 different double spread layouts that I've done. In fact, since there's so much and today's video is kind of long, I'm going to have timestamps down in the description. That way, if you want to jump ahead to a specific section, you can just click that little link and pop right over to it. But I'd really appreciate it if you actually watch the whole way through and then maybe come back and check out the ideas that you wanted to use in your own. By using those timestamps, you can go back and look at them again. Alright, so we've already got things going. This is my monthly calendar, and I really like the vertical layout, so I'm continuing with it once again. One thing I do want to note, with that green strip of tombos down the side, I did 2 layers of white with the white gel pen, as I'm adding the second layer now to make it more visible. And if you do that, you might have to have a piece of scrap paper nearby to clean off the tip of your pen, because it'll start to pick up the color of the marker. So just scribble on some paper and you're back in action. So here I am trying to make some colored Christmas lights. And by not outlining these first and just doing them with a marker, I can easily go in and make any adjustments to fix the shapes. Like some of them are bigger than others, so just go back in, add a little bit to the edges, and voila, everything's the same size. Luckily, these lights are a lot easier to hang than the regular ones. And if you want to doodle a little Christmas tree to get your shape in, if you just go back and add some extra brush strokes, it'll give it more of a tree-like appearance. Now, this over here is an attempt at a fancy ornament. I have no tips for you on this one because, as you will soon see, the shape is off. And I'll be honest, this drives me crazy. But, yeah, I'm just rolling with it. I thought about how I could try to fix it, and I decided to just leave it be. It's a little too flat on one side, but I know I'm being, extra picky. I tend to do that. But I think overall it'll work. Now, since I do so many different spreads at the beginning of my months as a setup, it enables me to keep my monthly view pretty clean. I don't typically have a lot on here. It's just basically my master to-do list, any notes, and anything special that needs to be focused on for the month. And I like the I guess, more simplistic view. It helps me just keep on track a little better. And over here I like to put a little swatch of the colors that I use for the month. That way I can easily grab the same shade to have some consistency throughout my pages. And in a second I'll go back over those little blocks of color and write in the number of the combo using that extra small. Alright, it's my favorite spread, the habit tracker. I love this so much that it takes me 2 pages to write down everything that I want to keep track of. If you've seen my other monthly setups, you'll know that I don't necessarily expect to do everything on here every day, but a lot of it is to help me keep track of how often I've done it. For example, calling or seeing my mom, watering the plants. It's nice to have a visual and seeing when was the last time I did it. So, and I'll admit, November, my tracker is basically empty. I just didn't even have time to sit down and color in my little squares. But this month, I'm going to do it. I'm going to fill up this page. And I decided to have a little fun while doing my dots on this one. So, Merry Christmas. I don't know how legible it'll be, but it was kind of fun to do. So if you do, the little dots, just entertain yourself. Write little messages in there as you're making them. It makes it go a lot quicker when you're doing it. Now all the washi tape that I'm using at least this far into the month, is from that Recollections holiday pack. And you can pick that up at Michael's. I think it was like $20 if anybody's interested. And it has a variety of different tapes, all centered on the holidays or the time of the year. So it's pretty cool. And I think the biggest selection was for Christmas. Christmas and Valentine's has the bulk of them. But there's something for every month. Right, moving right along, we've got 3 lines a day. Yeah, anybody see my mistake? I wrote 3 twice. So the magical white gel pen to the rescue once again. And since I'm covering up red with it, it's going to take a couple of layers. Those little pencil lines are just to let me know how big to make my numbers to fill up the space. Now the little pencil underneath the title is a reminder because I want to alternate between the red and green Fineliners when filling in my journal entries. Okay, so now let's see, this should be a sleep log. I'm changing it up this month. Instead of having the number grid to highlight in, I'm going to be writing in the minutes underneath the hour column, and then having my total hours and any notes. So I'm going to try this and see how it goes. So like if I went to bed at 12:15 and woke up at 7:45, I would put 15 in the 12 column and then 45 in the 7 column, and that would give me a concise time of when I slept. Now, when I added the second layer to my title, it changed my gray to a more purple tone, and I didn't like it, so got out my Micron brush and went back over it with the black. Again, this washi is from that same Recollections box. And this is actually part of, I think, May for its just birthday grouping. But I like the colors. Okay, these are just flying by. So now we're on the gratitude page. And I wanted to play with my silver metallic pens and Prismacolor pencil. So instead of doing gratitude, I thought joy is all around. That pencil is the silver metallic from the Prismacolor 150 pack. And I love this pencil. It just goes on like butter. I can't even describe it. And it's really shiny and flashy. The coverage is incredible. It's just so solid. Here I'm just adding a little bit of a shadow to the word joy to make it shine a little bit more. The marker doesn't shine quite as much as the pencil does. And here's just kind of like a free form wreath. And I noticed I kept drawing my circle. I was following the same path. So by turning the book and changing directions on my circle, I was actually, getting different pen lines instead of just darkening in the same spot. There you can see the shine. Over here on this side of the spread will be my brain dump. I don't particularly, necessarily like the term brain dump, which I know a lot of other people agree with me on. So I have started calling mine Overflow. For all those little thoughts that just don't land anywhere else, this is where they go. And this is my North Pole. Ha. And just to bring some silver over to this side of the page as well. Okay, next, let's see. This is a more functional page. It's going to go by really quick. And, because like I said, it's all about function. This is all the steps that I need when I'm writing chapters for my story based on my Sims 4 challenge. And I debated on including this in the video or not. I just thought, you know what, the grid itself might come in handy for somebody. So I thought I'd keep it here, but it's gonna go pretty quick since it's all function over form on this one. And it really does come in handy. As I write a chapter, I just go in and put an X whenever I get something accomplished. And of course, being for the Sims, I have to use the plum bob green. One more functional, and this is a calendar for my videos, so I can see at a glance when was the last time I posted. Fortunately, this month and there's not going to be much written in because I am so far behind. 'Tis the season, right? On the right is all of the steps that it takes me to get a video together. As I do it, I put a little X in the box. Alright, now we're on to something new that I'm trying this month. And instead of a mood mandala, since the month is so busy, I decided to play Tetris with my moods. So I'm excited to see how this is going to work out. I'll admit this page took me a little bit to set up, just because I wanted my lines perfectly straight. If I hadn't used the ruler, I'm sure it would have gone a lot quicker. Now I will be posting the last of my November mandala here within the next few days. I'm going to get that done and up. So I'm going to put a little card for the playlist for that mandala in case anybody's interested up in the corner. And part 4 will be arriving soon. Now these are your basic Tetris shapes, although mine are, I believe, mostly 5 squares big, and I think the standard is 4, but since my chart is so big over there. And what I've done is rotate them, so there's the same block, but all 4 variations, because as I experience the mood, I can't rotate it, I have to use it in the exact shape that it is drawn. And my playing field was too big, so I'm making it a little smaller. So as I color them in, I'm assigning a mood and then writing inside the shape itself the pencil so I know which color to use for that. Now I did not come up with this idea, I saw it on Pinterest. I think back in like September or so, and I marked it and thought this would be a good month to try it. I tried to find that again so I could credit whoever came up with it, and unfortunately I wasn't able to determine who that was. So if you've seen the original person who came up with this, if you know who it is, let me know. I will gladly, include their name. So I would love to give them credit, but I'm excited to give this a try. Their version was different, but the concept, not my own. I think what I'm going to do as I upload videos through the rest of the month, I think what I'll tack on an update of this at the end, because it's really quick to update on a daily basis. So maybe I'll just film those and have them add up, and then when I do a new weekly layout, throw in an update on this. So if you're curious to see how this plays out through the month, be sure and subscribe so you can see how it all comes together. All right, now we are on to the last spread, and this is my weekly layout. Now, I do make one new layout per month, and then just play with it and move things around as the month goes on and come up with a new look every week. So this will be the basic format that I'll be toying with this month. So again, subscribe if you want to see how I change this up. I already have a second version already filmed, and like the others, I will be posting that video soon. I promise y'all, I really am trying to get on a steady schedule here, but with the holidays and still being a new channel, it's really difficult to, get into a steady routine, but I'm getting there. All right, so when a week spans 2 months, I like having it in the old month and the new one. So this is one of those weeks. Yeah, my brain is gone. Hopefully it'll hang in here with me for a little bit longer. We're almost to the end. I decided to do the holly leaves again. And yeah, that's gone. It's left the building. One thing I am curious, do y'all, when you do your weekly layouts, do you set them all up at once at the beginning of the month? Or do you do like I do in like every Thursday or Friday, set up the following week? So let me know down in the comments. Do you build your weeks as you go, or have them all preset at the beginning of the month? I do have to say, this page was fun to make. I didn't really have any concept in mind. I just knew I wanted to do the days of the week like that on the left hand side. And other than that, it was all just kind of winging it as I went along. I was like, I have no clue what to put here. Holly will work. And the page just came together in that way. I'm really happy how it turns out in the end. So if you haven't guessed it, these are little presents that are just going to be piled up. And every week I'm going to be changing the configuration. So I think these are going to be fun to play with this month. And if you want to see how I changed November's around throughout the month, I'll put a card up for the November playlist up in the corner for you. wasn't sure on what to do with this, so I decided to just block it out. Didn't like it, so I decided to add green. Which meant this had to be darkened. And the title had to be fixed. But there we go. There's my first weekly layout. And we're at the cover page. So, if you want to see how this was done, be sure and check out my playlist for December. So it's time for the flip through. Here's my habit tracker. Hopefully it'll be all red by the end of the month. We'll see. And 3 lines a day with my reminder to alternate between red and green, and an extra page for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day journaling. The sleep log and the Fitbit, hopefully to be everything reaching my goals, gratitude, and that brain dump, which is an overflow. And then for my posting, keeping track of that, and my videos. And the mood Tetris. So if you want to see how this works, be sure and subscribe. And the beginning template for my weekly layouts for this month. Anyway, if you happen to notice, I had to skip 6 pages between my mood tracker and this layout, planning to fill those up with Christmas pages. So, be sure and subscribe if you want to see how things play out with Tetris, the changes I make to the weekly layout, and the extra Christmas pages that I have planned. Bye, y'all!